The weather outside is excellent. Unfortunately, we can't go outside, but that gives us the perfect excuse to do some silly things. And what's more silly than this? That's right, it's MiniDisc. For those of you who don't really know what MiniDisc is, it's a storage format which stores compressed audio, so it's not lossless. It does lose some details because it uses a audio codec called A-Track, something proprietary by Sony, but it's quite good. And I still use MiniDisc today to store music that isn't available commercially, such as video game music or other music that's unavailable commercially. And today I'm gonna show you exactly why I still use these little discs. I'm gonna use them to store a specific video game soundtrack that wasn't released commercially, but I do really like to put on once in a while because they inspire me to do the trash generation stuff. And we're also gonna transfer an audio cassette to MiniDisc. So let's have a look. So I have this CD here, where it's a CD rewritable, and I recorded a video game soundtrack from the PlayStation era that wasn't commercially released onto this one. And I'm gonna use this to transfer all the songs to this, the MiniDisc. Let's go ahead and unpack this piece of glory. Open. I see. They almost always came with these stickers. Oh, look, this is a beautiful one. God, you gotta love this about MiniDisc, those sleeves and the clickiness. Oh, goddammit, I'm getting old. So I have this MDS E52, which is a pretty basic MiniDisc recorder, but it was part of the professional lineup, so it's quite a good one. So the reason why I set this to optical is because the track indexes will be automatically transferred to the MiniDisc, and that is because the optical protocol has small drops in between the tracks, and that's how the MiniDisc knows that there's a new track coming up. Arm for recording, and start. As you could see, the tracks on the MiniDisc recorder follow the track indexes on the CD, thanks to the optical connection. As far as I know, this feature is unavailable when using the coaxial digital connection or the analog connection as well. One of the downsides of recording to MiniDisc this way is that you have to manually stop recording, because when the disc is done, my player just starts over at track 1. So I recorded a little bit of extra at the end of the MiniDisc, but luckily for us, MiniDisc has the feature to erase tracks, so I can just erase the last one and that will solve my problem. You can also combine tracks, move tracks, and name tracks and discs. Let's name this disc. It takes a while because you have to search for the characters, but well, once you get used to it, it can go pretty fast. All that's left for us now is to create a label for our mini disc, and there are quite a few labels supplied with a new mini disc. Usually there's a big one for the case and a less big one for the mini disc itself, and a very thin one for the side of the mini disc. That way you can store it in a closet sideways and allows you to read the title of the mini disc. Let's use that one. Just stick it on there. I have to wave it around a bit just because the ink is still wet. Let's transfer a cassette tape to a mini disc, and we're gonna take a new empty one. I have a bunch of these lying around, and let's take a different one than the last. There seems to be no distinct smell coming from this. Disappointing. Look at this. This is a beautiful one as well. I really like the aesthetic of MiniDisc. Look at it. How can you not put this in a machine? You know, this thing has seen better days. It is my cassette deck from when I was young. You know, I still consider myself to be young, but hey, there you go. What we're gonna do now is I have this cassette here that I've been keeping for a while, and it's a short story. It's called The Terrible Comet Salt. It's really amazing. You should have a listen to this, you know, in a listening room without any distractions, and just listen to the story. It's great. But I only have it on tape. I don't believe they released it on anything like vinyl or CD, so we're gonna transfer this to a mini disc. One obsolete format to another. Isn't that great? Okay, but it still powers on. That's great. What about the motors? So this is play. It still seems to work. A little bit of resistance there. That's good. Keep this away from your kids. How am I gonna connect this? That's why I got these nicely organized boxes here. Oh, these look like great old school cables. Well, you know what? In fact, I think these might be the original cables. I haven't unpacked this since I got it, and that is years ago. I first heard it on a radio broadcast, and I liked it so much that I instantly bought it, and several other releases from this label as well. The label's called Recital. Look it up. Also, no particular smell. are now ready to record. Just gonna check what's on side 2. Okay, so there's definitely something on side 2 as well. Let's transfer everything. You've got to love this about tape. You had to wait for it. People are so impatient these days. Okay, so let's get ready. So now we'll have to wait until the recording is finished on one side. Unfortunately, we have to wait and keep an eye on it because it won't automatically stop or go to the next track or whatever. We have to really turn around the cassette. I don't think this was an auto return deck. It's quite simple in execution. Okay, so as you can see, on the second side of the tape there are 3 tracks, and I just recorded them in one go on the MiniDisc. There should be a track gap around here. Ah yes, there it was. We have to split the track there, and MiniDisc allows you to do just that by going to the edit menu, and here the option is divide, and then we say yes. And it lets you listen to what the new start position would be. And I guess that's okay for me, that sounds just fine. So, yes. And complete. This is now track 3. Let's repeat that process for the 4th track. Okay, I think this position will be good. Go to the edit menu, divide, yes. That sounds just right. Okay. Ah, shit. See, there was a little bit too much noise there. Oh, there is an undo option. Divide, undo, yes. I want to do it again, because it wasn't exactly right. See, there was an unexpected silence. So it's right about here. Divide, yes. Yeah, this is better. So complete. What leaves us now is to name the tracks. So I'm quickly gonna do that. Quickly, no pun intended here. It's not gonna go quickly at all. So, as you can see, it's still a very useful format to use today. Old, but not obsolete. Actually, it is obsolete. Nobody still uses it, and people are really profiting from the empty media around on secondhand sites. Or used gear sites. I don't know how you call them in America or in England. I think they call pawn shops in England, but also I don't know what the websites are called though. Now, if you think MiniDisc is silly, it really is, and I don't think I would be transferring my video game music to that if I wouldn't have already had a machine here. I wouldn't go on used sites, used gear sites to buy a new one. So I'm glad I still have it and I can still use it. You can even still buy MiniDisc media, empty media today. I encourage you to look at Techmoan's video for more information about that. Stay tuned for the next one and thanks for watching. See you next time.